With the release of this new hardcore mode into Battlefield 1, there's a lot of criticisms on the forums about people, I don't want to say whining, but they're voicing their criticisms about the game and how it's different, blah blah blah. And kind of, I played a lot of hardcore. That was kind of my go-to game mode in Battlefield 4. So I figured I'd lend some insight into the short amount of time that I've put into the Battlefield 1 hardcore mode and kind of the changes that they've made. If you're going to play hardcore, the first thing you got to do is realize that, sure, your friendly teammates aren't going to have identification over their heads at all times. But if you do look at them, it'll show this little blue icon. So you really want to just check your fire and not fire just indiscriminately into any movement that you see, because it might be a friendly. And I'm okay with that, because I find that it adds that a little bit of realism. I think it's a video game, that argument's tired and played out. I think there's a strong focus on the discipline of picking your shots, which I think is a good thing. People complained that there was no kill confirmation. There wasn't a readout in the corner of the screen if he was getting killed. And I think that's fine, because what they have is the auditory confirmation. So if you don't see the guy obviously dropped right in front of you, so right here I take the shot, no auditory cue, so I missed, but then the next guy, you hear that ping. I think the really important thing about hardcore is obviously having situation awareness. So I didn't know what this guy was doing. I don't know why we were spawning and running beside each other, but I think that it takes a lot of strategy and movement, and you can still rush up on the objective and take out those pesky snipers while still being aware of who's around you. So unfortunately, this teammate had no idea he was around him, and he shoots me in the back like an idiot. That kind of sucks. Like, it kind of fucking sucks, because I feel that there's a lot of people trying out hardcore, it's been hyped up, and they just don't necessarily have that discipline, so they're, shooting wildly indiscriminately or dropping fireballs from the sky. And it sucks, but it's gonna happen, and if it, probably happened to me like half a dozen times, which is, that's fine. And for people that, talk about this kind of time to kill, and they argue that the time to kill makes it so any idiot with even no aim can get kills and win gunfights, I think that's not necessarily true, because you just saw me there, that guy had the jump on me, and I still, managed to turn and put bullets into his head. And I like that. I like hardcore, that when you put a bullet into a guy's head, he drops. So another thing that I really like using on hardcore is smokes, because you can't be just running through the open, running through streets, because you're gonna get sniped again and again, and it sucks. It sucks getting sniped. Snipers are really powerful. If you use smoke grenades to your advantage, you can move your position to a more favorable one, while still being on the attack, getting on the objective, get on the point. You don't have to hang back and just be scared of this hardcore time to kill. And with that being said, there is no health regen, so it's going to be critical that you hang with medics, have medics on your squad, or I'm sniping, and I see a guy, he jumped on the point, I see him coming around, boom, 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 Farmer stops the God gun, and I pick up his kit, so that I can drop his health, and I can keep going, stay in the fight.
We have lost objective Duff.
And I think what I like the most about this is that the bullets, have weight. So here I am using the Mondragon Storm, and when you hit those headshots, you drop them. Like, it feels weighty, it feels like hefty. I don't want to put a bullet into a guy's head and have to put another 2 bullets into his chest. Like, that makes no sense to me. So it really kind of gives me this authentic, this authentic World War I experience, where the bolt action rifles are really strong. You can play really aggressively with your Gevers, with your Russian sniper rifles and all those guns, and play the objective. And sure, there's going to be a plethora of snipers sitting up on hills shooting out into the guys that run in the open, and that's fine. But I think that there's just something about this kind of the importance of movement, of positioning, of taking the shots, and also not taking the shots. So I know hardcore isn't for everyone, and that's fine. Like, they have normal mode for a reason. But if you want to play hardcore and you want to try to get better, succeed, avoid those pesky snipers, I hope these couple tips can help you move through the battlefield and find success in a mode that I find a little more on edge. It's a little more intense, and when you move, you don't just run blindly into the flag, taking 3 or 4 shots to the back, but you still make it. It doesn't favor run and gun playstyle, but a little more slower, methodic play, which I find interesting, and I think other people will because of the argument that Battlefield 1 may have been too fast-paced. So, by changing the time to kill, you actually make everyone even in the sense that everyone dies just as fast. So just as fast as you can kill someone, they can kill you back. So if you see a bunch of guys running around with terrible aim, you will succeed in hardcore.